Welcome to episode 14, everybody. If you've just joined, I'm Maria at Maria the Arcane on Instagram, and this is Robyn at A Tired Witch on Instagram.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Well, it's morning for us. Probably not morning for you.
It is. It's morning somewhere, everywhere. So if you guys are new with us, every episode we talk about upcoming lunar phases and kind of what that means for us. It's almost getting to a point where we're going to have to talk about the same lunar phase twice or skip a week because the upcoming new moon in Virgo happens on the 17th of September. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. The new moon in Virgo is a very earthy moon and a very organized moon. I don't know if you listeners are Virgos or know very many Virgos in your day-to-day life, but a Virgo has never met a list that they didn't love. A list that they didn't love to make. And so new moons are times for new beginnings, fresh starts, that sort of thing. And when we pair that with the earthy, pragmatic Virgo energy, it's going to be looking at energies that are fresh starts in an organized fashion. So this might be a really good time, like on a mundane level, to do some autumn cleaning. You like that instead of spring cleaning?
Oh, I do. Oh, I like it. It's so good.
Get your label maker out, guys. Okay, start labeling stuff. Get your lists ready. It's just going to be focusing on energies that are organized and efficient, pragmatic, and pairing that with the new moon's new you energy. It is worth mentioning.
That is a really great moon to have before Mabon. Right before, the second harvest, harvest. So yeah.
Organize your life before you go and get your corn. I honestly think I'm hilarious. I think I'm hilarious, and nobody else needs to find me funny, but I will always laugh at my own jokes.
Oh, you funny. You're so funny.
Go out to the fields, guys, get your corn, and really just organize your house beforehand. So when you bring the harvested corn in, you just know where it's going to go. It is worth mentioning, though, with this new moon, that it's a heavy Earth moon in terms of planetary alignment, and influences like Saturn are probably going to make you feel a little grumpy. So you're going to be doing some angry list making, and that's okay. Just rage lists. I can specifically think of 3 Virgos right now who I know for a fact have made angry lists. Yeah, I'm looking at you, John Tenney. I'm looking at you, Corinne.
I'm here for rage lists.
Just
I'm not a Virgo,
rage listing.
But I'm here for it. That sounds so amazing.
Yeah, could you imagine? That honestly sounds like the opposite of me in every way, because I am not a list maker or organized.
Oh, I am. I love lists. Give me all the lists. But
Maria's a secret Virgo.
A good rage list. I do not think that I have any Virgo in my chart.
I don't.
Maybe
I literally don't. I don't have one piece of Virgo in my chart, and it shows.
I do have Capricorn. I mean, Capricorn's known for being pretty,
listy.
Yeah, so maybe it's just that. So
yeah, maybe. I don't know. But either way, guys, break out the parchment paper. Let's make some lists.
Parchment paper.
Well, yeah, if we're going to be harvesting corn, we might as well get the fucking parchment out too. The quill and ink.
Grab your scythes.
Come hither, children from the fields. It's time for the corn lists. Oh my God. I'm going to cancel myself here.
You're canceled.
I'm canceled. Goodbye. I'm canceled. Goodbye. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, everyone, get organized. You're welcome.
So, if you just started listening to us, every podcast we talk about a random tarot card. We go over the universal meaning and their own interpretations of the card. Hearing others' opinions helps beginners form their own opinions, or even those who have been practicing for a while expand their views on other meanings. This week, we're going to talk about the Ace of Swords. On this card, you see a cloud with a hand jutting out holding a sword. There's a crown on the sword and some foliage and sometimes a wreath. The universal meaning of this card is, aces are about beginnings. And so this beginnings when it comes to ideas and clarity. My own meaning goes a little deeper into it. We can all agree that the sword suit is a rather difficult one. After all, the mountains on this card symbolize challenges, and the streams are the emotions we will face facing said challenges. When this card comes up in readings, it tells me, it's time to take charge when it comes to your own ideas or even your mental health. It comes up when someone has just finished an ebb in their life, especially after dealing with something really rough emotionally. Basically, you are like, well, enough is enough. I'm stuck in this position and I'm ready to make some changes. It isn't going to be easy, though, even though it's a great first step to admit, like, okay, it's time, it's time to make these changes so things actually get better. Mm-hmm. You'll have to fight in order to fully overcome what you are up against. And that's why, the sword is jutting out, take the sword. And all in all, this ace shows that you are ready to step into your power, and that is awesome. But be ready to put in the work, though, in order to keep this momentum going so you can succeed. So, how do you view this card, Robyn dear?
The Ace of Swords to me is like a clairvoyant card. Aces, as you said, are all about new beginnings, but it's also with that new beginnings about pure potential, right? Mm-hmm. And so to me, this card is about the ability and reality of basically gaining really good insight to situations, because swords in general are these mental cards, right? Mm-hmm. And so with this newfound insight that you might have, you have this sort of power with the sword of using it for good or evil, if that makes sense. That's the pure potential. It's being able to have such potential and insight that you could do anything with it. So let's say, for example, you find out at your job that something, I don't know, a promotion's coming up. Are you going to use that to help build up your coworker who's been working their freaking ass off and deserves that promotion and they're your friend? Or are you going to start sabotaging them so that way you get the promotion instead, right? It's this newfound insight, and you've got this sort of power and potential to use it however you want to. And it's really up to you on what direction that's going to go. So last episode, we asked you guys for the 13th episode to go on Apple Music and review the podcast and ask a question so that we could answer it this time. And we got a lot of amazing reviews, but I think some of you guys forgot to ask your question. This week, we only actually have a couple questions that we're going to go over, which they're still great questions. No complaints from us.
100%.
Yeah. And if you had no question and you just wanted to review us and you didn't forget, that's just very intentional. Thank you. Your guys' words were really kind. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we totally appreciate it.
Yeah. So that was on purpose. Thank you. If it wasn't on purpose, I'm sorry we missed your question.
We do appreciate you, though,
yes,
so very much.
Very, very much. The first question we're going to go over is, can we eat the offerings we make? Yes. I think so, at least. I'm a huge proprietor of no waste. I don't like creating waste if I can avoid it. And there's been a lot of times in my life where I could not waste food because I was poor. Very poor. No food waste. So yes, you absolutely can, in my opinion, eat offerings. I think it's about kind of how you eat them versus whether or not you can or you can't. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, I do agree that you can, but when it comes to like offerings for myself, I always leave them out for like a day, but give them back to nature afterwards. What this means is that I give my food when I make my food, I try to make it natural, nothing that would harm the environment, and leave it in the forest so Mama Earth can do what she wants with it. And when it comes to drinks, most of the time I pour it into the earth as well.
Same.
Just not the forest, but I do have some offerings I can't give back to like the earth. Like I do not give the diet soda on the altar that I leave for my grandma.
Why? I don't understand.
But Maria,
I do, please explain. Why can you not put diet soda in there? Is it because of the aspartame? Is that what it is?
It was my grandma's, she loved it. And, chocolate is not good for a lot of animals. And I do leave that on my altar for her as well. But I do eat the chocolate, but one of the reasons why I do eat it is because my grandma and I share chocolate all the time. Like it was our thing. We would go shopping together and we'd get a whole bag of chocolate and we would split it. I mean, it's just, it was just something that we did together. I literally do not see anything wrong with eating the food. There's a lot of different religions.
At 100%, 100%.
Yeah, there's many religions where you lay out an offering and you do eat it. I mean, when you have like a big, when families have big Christmas dinners, it is technically an offering to the season and that, and they do eat it. It's just taking in what you are giving out. Does that make sense?
So how I do it is, let's say I make, I don't know, a meal, like a straight up meal on a plate. I will leave it out for the evening and then I'll sit down at my altar and enjoy it there, have it there. And it's usually cold and whatever, but that's sort of the whole fucking point, right? And so, I don't believe in food waste, so I do eat it. But I eat it at my altar, I consider eating it with the spirits or with whomever I give it to. So,
sharing
but I always
a meal.
leave it out. Yeah, and I always leave it out for a period of time at which that it was clearly for them. So the meal is cold by the time I have it, if not the very next day. So stale and crusty musty. But if I'm going to eat it, that's how I do it. So,
yeah. And I know a lot of in rituals, let's say that someone has brought wine into their circle to share with the deity they are sharing the wine with. They would at first be like, well, deity, drink from this cup. And then they themselves would be like, and then I take it into myself. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's everywhere.
It's the same sort of thing. So long story short, you absolutely can, as long as you're doing it in a respectful manner. Whether that's 100%. Giving it back to nature or eating it at your altar, whatever way you're going to do it, as long as you're being respectful about it, you absolutely can.
Yes. You ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are we?
So we're going to do tarot book recommendations.
Oh, my Lord.
So I haven't met a tarot book that I 100% agree with yet. I just want to put that out there. You will not agree with every single interpretation you come across. Our interpretations are not only based on like universal meanings of the card, but also our life experiences. The more you use tarot, you'll see some patterns and consistencies. These will help you form your own opinions about the cards, however hazy they are at first. So practice, practice, practice. I mean, build up that intuition, and most of all, be honest with yourself. And
I agree.
When you're reading cards, because if you're not honest with yourself, I mean, tarot will put all your bullshit on display, and it is up to you to take it and do something about it. But if you, but let's say if I were to recommend some books, I would recommend Pathworking the Tarot. It not only comes with exercises for the cards, it also comes with interpretations, and I agree with the author on many things. I also have 2 guidebooks that I love. I love both the Lion Strider decks guidebook and the Darkwood Tarot guidebook. While, as I said, I don't agree with them 100%, they are definitely amazing. The Lion Strider has correspondences for each card, and Darkwood Tarot focuses on shadow work. But yeah. What books would you recommend?
Well, first and foremost, as somebody who gets questions a lot of the time, I'm sure you do too, on, what book should I start with as a beginner? The Sky Alexander series, the Modern Witch series, love them.
Yes.
Their book on like beginner tarot, I think, is a really good soft introduction for people that are, just trying to get their feet wet, because it has uprights, it has reversals, it has color correspondence, it has yes/no meanings.
She does have correspondences,
and so I think it's a really great soft intro. I also really like Kitchen Table Tarot. It's called like Kitchen Table Tarot. Yeah, pull up a chair, shuffle the cards, and let's talk tarot. It's a very like straightforward and earnest approach. It like the title says, right, about kitchen table. It's like, just 2 people chilling out in their kitchen and doing tarot. It's not this grand mysticism and whatever. It's very just honest, and I really like that the earnesty of that book. And the other book that I'm surprised you didn't suggest is the Holistic Tarot book.
I do like it, but there's so many things that I disagreed with the author on. It kind of irks me.
I mean, I definitely just don't disagree with you on that at all. But I liked the different approach to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I did too. I did read it all. I did take it in.
Like a 6-inch fucking book. It's a massive textbook. So even if you're not going to agree with everything in it, there's still a lot to get from it.
There is.
Not a beginner book, though.
Undertaking going through that book. It reads like a textbook, but I definitely do recommend it. Like, it gives deeper, like, as I said before on other podcasts, other episodes, get as many interpretations as you can. Like, read as many books as you can. Like,
can I give a recommendation of a book I don't like?
Yeah,
can we
do it?
I don't like Biddy Tarot.
I'll give one too.
I don't like Biddy Tarot at all.
I
know.
like them. Sometimes I agree with them.
People listening to this are going to be like, I love Biddy. I'm not a Biddy Tarot fan. I think that although they have an amazing website, which is great for people that, can't afford books and stuff like that, I feel like the entire approach is very love and light, everything being positive. And we all know by now my stance on toxic positivity. And you know what? Yeah. Sometimes the tower is just the tower, and it's not, some amazing change within you. Like, sometimes you're just being a self-sabotaging piss baby. And like, there's validity in that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a fan of Biddy Tarot just in general, because even though not everything is love and light, and painting it with that brush is not true and is very unfair of me to say, it is too much positivity for things that are just sometimes not positive for my liking.
Yeah. Well, I do like Biddy Tarot for their like upright a lot of, like, I definitely agree that they like skip over the shadow work aspects of the cards, and also, you know, the whole purpose of tarot calling us out.
Yeah.
But I do like some of their interpretations. The cards that are upright and do mean something positive, I do like those.
Well, and just generally speaking, their keywords I've found are usually 100% on point. It's just their follow-up interpretation to me is always like, oh, okay, so you're finding the fucking ray of sunshine in the thunderstorm, aren't you? Okay, this is not realistic.
The book I don't recommend is actually a guidebook, and it is the Wild Unknowns guidebook. Like, if you're going to start off,
at all.
Yeah, if you start off with that deck, get a whole new, like, I would even start with that deck, because the guidebook does not give you any interpretation whatsoever. Right. It gives you like this like mystic meaning behind the card that's like very vague and very like, I don't know what the hell this means, but whatever.
Literally, I am not a fan of that deck at all, that's a story for another day. It's not for me. I know a lot of people really like it, and I love that for them. I'm like 100% in your corner. If anybody wants my copy, you can probably have it if I can find it. It's just
my wife's copy.
I never vibed with that deck. I saw it everywhere, and I was like, oh my god, I want that deck. It's so beautiful. And then I got it, and I was just like, maybe not. It's not that it's not beautiful. It's just I didn't buy it. Like, it is still beautiful, right? I'm not trying to like shit on a deck right now. It's just for me, you know, every deck has a different energy, and I just didn't. I didn't click with it.
Yeah, it's not good. Especially not good for beginners. I mean, you're obviously an experienced witch, and you didn't like, you know, couldn't.
True, I'm obviously an experienced witch. That is correct. Are you listening, listeners? I'm a very experienced witch.
You're so supreme.
You guys, if we could just get out my huge spiritual dong really quick and just talk about it, that'd be great. Oh my god, that's so funny. Everybody listening is just like, I cannot stand this bitch. Every single time she talks, I wish she wouldn't. All right, next question.
Yeah, I do want to preface that this question actually comes from one of our Discord members, because I wanted to fill this in with some more questions. I thought this was a great one that like people can actually like, you know, take something from.
It's very relevant to everybody, and since we're doing questions here too, why not, right? Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
What do we do to recharge when we aren't feeling like our most authentically witchy selves? You want to go first, Maria?
Sure. If you are going through an ebb, go through the freaking ebb. The more you fight against it, you are going to burn out. You are going to feel miserable. You're not going to enjoy your practice, and you're going to be forcing something that you're not like enjoying, which your practice, while it's very important, it also is meant to also be enjoyed. And if you're not like wanting to do it and you're making yourself do it, you're going to start to resent it, and it's going to be awful. But let's say, you know, you're just having an off day, but it deep inside, you know, doing some spell work or something is going to make you feel better. Honestly, just like even taking a moment to step outside, put your feet in the grass, and just like breathe in, breathe out, and just, you know, being one with nature just for like a moment is a great way to recharge. And then also, this is going to sound so stupid.
I'm excited for this. You said it's dumb, so it's going to be so good, and I'm going to just die. Go.
Do things that get you, do stuff that get you in the witchy mood. Like, watch Practical Magic.
Go watch. Get out your sexy wand and just... No,
but
this is not that podcast, Robyn. Let's all dial it back.
I'm getting to it. One second.
You remember those
more.
Harry Potter like vibrating like brooms that they sold, and like they had to like take them off the shelves because little children were really riding their brooms.
No,
this is
what?
You don't remember that? Oh my god, this is like I was like 11 or 12, so this would have been the late 90s. When Harry Potter was like at its height. Because see, Daniel Radcliffe is literally the same age as me. He's like a week younger than I am. You guys, I was very into Harry Potter as a child. Can you tell? Yeah, it was like a toy that was like the Nimbus 5000.
Wasn't at all.
It was like the Nimbus 5000 toy, and it vibrated, and they had to like it, but it was like the vibrating wasn't an intentional thing. It was supposed to be like feeling like, you know, you're going fast or whatever, and little kids were putting that in their orifices. They were shoving it in holes, and they had to take it off the market.
Oh my.
Yeah, man. These horny 12-year-olds. Like
oh my.
Yeah. So that's what she's suggesting, guys. She says that you guys need to hop on your brooms and take it for a spin.
Oh my. No, that's not what I was going to say.
I'm going to send you the article for that after this, by the way, and it's going to blow your whole mind.
Oh my. Well, anyways, watch Practical Magic. Watch, you know, witchy-ish movies that, like, get you, like, in the mood to practice. Listen to music that, like, you know, makes you feel yourself and makes you, like, you know, feel energetic and, like, empowered and stuff. But I think the biggest thing about, like, if you're just not into it, let's say you're super stressed out and you're going through a rough patch in life, do attempt to do spell work, but don't force it on yourself. As I said, you don't want to resent your practice. That's the last thing you want to do. Like, we all go through ebbs, even in our practice. The thing that makes a witch is that they know that they can return to their practice at any time, because no matter what, they are a witch. Like, period.
Yeah. For me personally, it's just reminding myself who I am. So I feel like our culture, like specifically our subculture, puts a lot of pressure on people without even realizing it, that they need to be this fucking witch of the woods all the time. And like, I mean, I know that like there's a lot of really amazing accounts out there that have these beautifully aesthetic photos, and everything looks like they're constantly outside with their feet in the ground, and they're in the rain, and they're, you know, I don't know, like masturbating to the full moon or some shit. Like they're so over the top with their photos because it's beautiful. Like, because it's a beautiful thing. No, I mean, I do this too. Like, I'm no shade. Like, it's beautiful. They're great to share these snippets of our practice in an aesthetically pleasing way. It's an amazing tool. However, it is also the internet. And like, for example, Maria's most recent photo, one of her most recent photos, where she took this stunning high priestess photo where she's looking like fucking the others came. Like, I mean, it's a great fucking photo. You look like the woman in black. It's great. But you aren't actually walking around your house with like a veil over your head all day and like smoke and stuff.
I wish. So, that'd be awesome.
So, can
I say something?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make this clear. I'm going through a huge creative streak right now. I am flowing. Like, I feel like super creative. This creativity I'm experiencing right now isn't going to last forever. I'm going to go through an ebb just like everybody freaking else.
So that's my whole point here, is that it's a creative streak and it's wonderful and it's beautiful, but don't use somebody else's amazing creative streak as the marker for your own craft. Your craft 100%. Can be, to make yourself feel a little bit more witchy, can be a simple little thing like stirring your coffee with a cinnamon stick, or
do that
you know,
yeah, 100%.
buying some fresh flowers for your altar. That's what I do when I'm feeling like super down. I go and get some like really fancy shit for my altar as like an offering. But what I guess I just want to stress is that don't compare your own practice to literally anyone else. Like
100%. 100%.
That in and of itself can be enough to just recharge you and remind yourself that you're a fucking baddie and that, you know, your path is your own. And you, just like Maria said, you're going to have ebbs and flows, and all of that is valid. All of that is fine. And if you think other people don't go through that ebbs and flow, it's because they're good at sharing the best parts of themselves on the internet.
Yes, or they have like a ton of photos saved up so they can use it for a future date.
Yeah.
I mean,
and mind you, no shade to them. I fucking do that. I know Maria does that.
I do it too. 100%.
That is a normal friggin' thing. And, you know, I have photos that I've got saved just in case I'm going through an ebb, but I still want to post because I want to. Because part of being on social media and being a person on the internet makes me happy.
And I do want to say, like, please do not judge your practice on my practice, especially by just going off my photos. I am a professional photographer. Like, I take photos for, you know, part of my other job. Like, I've been taking photos for the past like 7 years. And I've also been practicing for almost 19 years now.
Yes.
I mean,
I guess my biggest stress is based off of not just this question, but the fact that I get questions in my DMs like this all the time is that just like be nice to yourself. People,
100%.
Witchcraft is essentially a lifestyle, right? It's like it's something that you incorporate into your life, and you are, and there isn't a right or wrong way to do it per se. And realistically, just even if you had like an ebb for, let's say, a month straight, right? You're still a witch. You're just a witch who hasn't done active magic. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're going through
a stressful point. I mean, you're still a witch.
I have been doing this for a very long time, and I have ebbs. I mean, for fuck's sake, Maria knows about this, but like a week and a half ago or so, I went through an ebb, and I was feeling really fucking shitty and down, and was avoiding stuff. And Maria like just took over in the Discord for me for a few days because I was going through an ebb and I needed personal space to deal with stuff going on in my own life. Because I'm a human being at the end of the day, and so are you. And that's okay.
100%. So you are not the supreme, and you don't have to be a supreme.
You guys, I am the supreme, and I have ebbs. So, but don't beat yourself up, and start if you're in an ebb but you still want to feel witchy, do something really small. Pull a card and not to mention, for the week. Get your cinnamon
if you
stick.
Want to see something and don't think that, you know, your altar doesn't look cool enough, I want you to go all the way to the bottom of my Instagram feed and see what my altar looked like 2 years ago. You're constantly building your practice.
Yeah, my altar, you know what? You can actually do the exact same thing, because 2 years ago we had just moved into our house now, and I was trying to learn and figure out how to have an altar in a tiny space, and my altar was bare bones because I was trying to figure it out. I didn't know how I was going to have an altar in such a small space because we have a tiny home. We live in a school bus conversion, by the way, for people listening who didn't know that. Because apparently, I feel like I say this all the time, but apparently a lot of people don't know that. I live in a tiny home, and I was trying to figure out that balance. And my altar was friggin' tiny, and bare bones, because I was taking my own time to figure out how I wanted to have that. So, and that didn't make me any less of a hashtag aesthetic witch. It meant that I was figuring my shit out, and that's valid.
Yeah, and I had literally just come out of the broom closet to my wife maybe like a year or so before that. And, you know, I am not a rich person. And so, like, I add stuff slowly to my house.
I'm
and
so
slowly
crazy rich.
to my altar.
I'm crazy rich, guys. I got money just coming out my butthole. I'm just like, oh, another $100 bill fell out of my back pocket. It's true though. Like, and that's the other thing is like really important thing. Getting stuff like from outside, getting stuff from the dollar store, all that is fucking valid. Like, and don't listen to anybody who tells you otherwise. We're going off on a tangent now, but
yeah. I think it's important.
I think it's important, and really at the end of the day, if you're feeling shitty, that's okay. Like, go through that shitty period. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
But go walk over to that mirror, remind yourself that you're the baddest witch in town, even if you're not practicing magic at this exact moment, and that is okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Mental health is important. So, Maria, what's stirring your cauldron this week?
So, well, lovelies, it's the start of spooky season, and I'm not just talking about decorations or Halloween.
She is.
I'm talking about the thinning of the veil between this world and the spirit world. It is around this time of year when you can honestly feel it happening. I mean, there's something like electric in the air. So yes, if you couldn't tell, the thinning of the veil is what's stirring my cauldron. For many like newer witches, not necessarily witches, you know, newer witches to this podcast, but you may be at a loss of what this actually means. Many witches around this time get like ghostly visitors who pass through, and I'm definitely one of those stops on the spirit trail, it seems. Every year I get a little misty figure that stands in my kitchen. They have really good energy, so I always love it when they return. The reason a lot of witches get spirits drawn to them around this time of year is that we're more receptive to their energies, and we respond to them when we feel them. We don't just like ignore them. And so don't be surprised if some unexplainable things start happening around your home. I do recommend, however, making sure you are leaving out offerings like fairly often. And even if it's just like a simple cup of coffee or tea, and protecting your home through spell work. And also, with the thinning of the veil, divination in general is taken to a whole other level this time around. And when it comes to intuitions and readings, a lot of witches will thrive more so thanks to the thinning of the veil. And tarot readings become... I mean, they're already spot on, but they're going to become so spot on. It's freaking scary. And, you know, things like doing automatic writing comes out easier and more effortlessly, and definitely taking things, definitely making the most out of like doing more tarot spreads and using your pendulum more often. I mean, I highly recommend, because it's a lot of fun this time of year.
That, and back to her previous point in the beginning, which I know it was a lie. I'm sure you guys knew it was a lie, but it's also because of decorating. She loves it. This bitch already been to Michael's 3 times.
I'm still in the process of decorating too. I haven't found the time to like put everything up, but I'm
throwing shade, but I literally went to Michael's the day they said they were going to have stuff out. So I'm teasing.
I'm planning to go this weekend, so
I also enjoy this time of year. I think it's great. And I completely second everything Maria said is, you know, yes, use your stuff more, but also make sure that you are grounding and protecting yourself in your home, just to keep out, you know, maybe like the gingers that stare over your wife at 3 a.m. like the last episode.
And that was around this time of year, so keep that in mind.
Fucking freaky, man.
Yeah, cleanse your stuff. Cleanse everything. Especially new things. Cleanse it, cleanse.
Don't cleanse it. Don't ever cleanse it. You know, play a little spiritual roulette. You guys wanted chaos. That's how you get it.
You want to be woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is what you do. Don't set an alarm. Just don't cleanse anything. So, Robyn, what is not stirring your cauldron right now?
You know, I actually really struggled to pick something because things were not irritating me at all. I wasn't irritated at all. And then
which is so funny.
The internet is like, surprise, bitch, you are actually irritated. Ingesting essential oils. Let's talk about that. A new thing that is going on around the internet. People telling other people to like just gobble up those essential oils. And although there are a few essential oils that are safe for a healthy person's consumption in measured quantities, that is something that should only be discussed between you and your doctor. An essential oil that might be, quote, safe to consume if it is a food grade essential oil, which just because something says food grade on it does not mean that you can put it in your food. Just so everyone, we're all on the same page here. For example,
so you're saying people lie? So you're saying people lie to sell their product? I'm just kidding.
The thing is that food grade is a like FDA term for like the quality of what goes into it. It doesn't actually mean that it is food. It's a measurement word, right? And there have been people like I get it, you know, there's all those fucking pyramid scheme moms that are like, put this in your guacamole and then you'll be calm. You know, there are some essential oils that are, quote, safe to consume. But the thing is that that's something you should discuss with a doctor, because essential oils are the molecular breakdown. It's like the atomic breakdown of a herb. And because of that, if you have a mild allergy, let's say, that you don't realize you have because it's super mild, and you then consume the essential oil molecular breakdown of that herb, you could kill yourself. You could literally accidentally cause severe harm to your body. That is, even if it is, quote, a safe thing to consume in measured amounts, if you have an underlying allergy you don't know about because on a just basic herb regular level it's very undetectable, unnoticeable, you could put yourself into an anaphylactic shock and cause serious issue, especially if that you're not somebody who has serious allergies to begin with. So you don't have an EpiPen, you could literally die. It's an incredibly unsafe thing to do when you don't know, you know, when you don't have a doctor's approval. And like I said, just because it says food grade doesn't mean that it's food. Please stop eating essential oils. Please stop listening to teenagers on TikTok who tell you, oh, it'll give you a hallucinogenic effect. They're fucking morons.
Oh my gosh.
They're fucking morons. Just please don't eat essential oils, guys. Like, I love essential oils as much as the next person. I put them in my ritual oils. There are some I diffuse because, again, it's a molecular breakdown. Some of them are incredibly toxic to household pets.
Yep. Yes, they are.
Essential oils are not something to fuck with, and not something to just be like, oh yeah, like I got it from doTERRA, so actually it's safe and I'm gonna put this in my soup. Like, don't do that. Like, just don't.
If you need to chill out, like just go put some CBD oil in your stuff.
Just all I'm saying is before ingesting any kind of herbal anything, talk to your fucking doctor. Like, talk to your doctor. Because your doctor's probably going to say, don't fucking do that.
Yeah. Agreed. And not to mention, you're putting a lot of trust in a company who probably does not have FDA approval and just
You're
has
putting a
food
lot of
grade
trust in
labeled.
a 17-year-old who read a fucking article that in the 1970s somebody ingested belladonna, which, mind you, is a poisonous herb on an essential oil level, and it gave them a hallucinogen. You're literally going to kill yourself on accident. Don't fucking do that. So yeah, that's what's not stirring my cauldron this week. Thank you guys so much for being here on the podcast. Don't fucking eat essential oils. I will kill you myself if that's what you really want. If you really want to fuck with God that much, like, I'll just do it myself. It's fine. Just call me. Please don't, actually. Please get mental health help. You are worth living. Thank you. Please. That was a joke. Please. Last but not least, if you guys are new, every week we talk about creators that we're loving right now, stuff that we think is cool that we found. And on that note, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I have something that I want them to promote, just stop right there. Just hit the brakes as hard as you can. Do not message us. At this point in time, I would say Maria and I have blocked at least a dozen people for doing this. Please don't be that guy. Please don't do it. We hate you so much. Thank you. These are people we found organically. They're not paid promotions. Mm-hmm. They'll never be paid promotions. Stop it. That being said, on that super fun note, Maria, who's your creator this week you're loving?
Okay, so on Instagram, they are known as Black in the Moon, and her name is Claire, and she makes tarot decks and oracle decks. And I just got the Memento Mori Oracle deck. I hope I said that right. I always say it wrong. But anyways,
Memento Mori.
Great. But oh my goodness, this deck is gorgeous, and I love it so much. I want to use it like 24/7. Like, it's so massive for an oracle deck. I don't think I've ever owned an oracle deck with this many cards. Like, I'm pretty sure there are like 78 cards like in tarot. Like, wow. It's a massive deck, and it's like, you know, it's not like love and light like oracle deck. It's shadow work and all that, and there's a card for everything. I mean, there's even a card for the like chronic illness and stuff like that. So wow. I thought that was really neat. Yeah, that is really it's the plague doctor. So I pulled that one right before I had a chronic illness flare. So wow. Yeah.
Wow, that's fucking rude.
Yeah, right. But I mean, the deck is beautiful, and I love the illustrations and stuff like that. You know, it's like, it's totally my taste in decks. Like dark colors, and it's beautiful. Stunning.
My creator this week, I actually just got reminded of because of another creator, Witch Swap, posted about them for like a 3-card draw, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this deck, and I forgot how much I love this deck. It's the Earth and Bones Tarot by Alchemy Soul on Instagram, and it is very similar to kind of like what you described as, like, you know, like, well, not very similar, but it's bones. It's bones. Yeah. Earth and bones, like the name suggests. And it's just really pretty. It's got really nice earthy kind of energy, and I really like it. I think it's really super really beautiful. Pretty. It's super pretty. It's one that's actually been on my list for a while for myself, and then I forget about it because shiny penny, I get distracted. And I'll probably end up getting it at some point, but I love it. I think it's great. Very pretty.
So it's really beautiful. I really like it. I like the colors.
Yeah, like it's very Witch of the Woods vibe, and I'm here for it.
Same.
We hope you guys will join us for our next episode on September 18th. It's our 15th episode, and it will be our Mabon episode with another special guest. So keep your eyes out on our Instagrams and on Twitter, and you can follow us on Twitter. It's Coffee Cauldrons for more information.
Or even better, joining us on our Discord tier, which is First Coven on Patreon, so we can answer your questions next time.
You'll even get to hear our sensual voices for an additional 30-minute episode for being on our Patreon tiers, casting and up.
Yes. So, again, this is Coffee and Cauldrons.
With Robyn at A Tired Witch on Instagram.
And with Maria from Maria the Arcane on Instagram.
Okay, you ready to count?
Ready? Yeah.
1.
Ready? 1.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Bye, witches!
Oh my lag. God. Stupid lag.